I was crying with you. I had moments. I was like, damn, I was like, oof. And it's because the movie is much more than a movie to me. It was a cathartic effort. I wrote this movie when I was 20 years old in film school. And they tell you in film school lie about what you know. And I was in school and I was pretty much one of the only black kids in the film department, and feeling that and everything and stuff. But I was also, when I went to school, USC was also South Central, so I was like, I'm writing about my friends, I'm writing about my friends and what we experienced and what we experienced and how we did experience and stuff, and that's how the movie came about.
And John, the writing piece though, is that you developed these characters, and of course the actors made it come to life, but talk about the writing process, because a lot of people don't know that's where you really start.
Well, I was a writing major at USC, in USC School of Film and Television, in screenwriting department, and someone told me at an early age that like, you may not have a lot of money to make a movie, but if you can write a movie, you make movies all the time. So I tried to hone that skill, like to write movies that I want to make, and also because I knew that if I was ever going to become a filmmaker, no one was going to write the kind of movie I wanted to do. I had to go and be subject to somebody else's interpretation of what I wanted to do. So I just said, let me learn how to write and how to put that soul on the page. A lot of stuff. It's funny to see the movie and then hear you guys react. Y'all react to different things in the movie. The movie is kind of like I mean, not to make a joke of it, but anybody seen the IG or the Ask Rachel thing? Yeah. The movie is like that, it's like all these little things and like, these inside things that if you're black and from a certain environment, you just get, and that wasn't by happenstance, it's all by design, because when I was studying film, I was just like, I watched all these films and, from around the world cinema and everything. Hey, stop for a second, you don't get to see hold on. Yeah, so I'm saying, and I watched films from all around the world. I watched Japanese films, I watched French films, I watched films from great American filmmakers like Francis Coppola and Martin Scorsese, and they were, like those films, were so uniquely Italian. So I said, I'm gonna make something that's uniquely black American. That's gonna have all the soul, ups and downs of what it is. And I think that was what I accomplished in this film. And I know there's a lot of filmmakers here, budding filmmakers or film enthusiasts and stuff. And I think that's something that I think we've gotten away from as filmmakers. People want to make a good movie, and I take a lot of black filmmakers to task because they're so concerned with what other people think of what they're making, and they're not concerned with like making the best film that's culturally astute. You know what I'm saying? It's like when I say, and I didn't get a chance.
No, it's about you.
But like I developed a mantra at an early age that like if you listen to a James Brown record, listen to Aretha Franklin, listen to early Parliament, stuff I like, you listen to any great black musician, they were just interested in music for the folks. So like when I do a movie like this, it's like I'm trying to get, I'm trying to make it something that's really culturally specific to black people, and I feel that if I do that, then it becomes universal. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of black filmmakers, they half-ass the shit. You know what I'm saying?
You recently actually made a comment about this in terms of even Hollywood not allowing.
I made that many comments. I write about it. I write about it in all trade papers. I speak about it and everything. This, and I don't care what nobody says. Our stories. I mean, stories are universals and everything, but since we have so many stories that haven't been told, and there's so many of us that haven't had the opportunity to tell them, and I feel very, very strong about black people telling our stories. And I'm not gonna, I don't care. I don't give a fuck what nobody says about that.
Talking about your story, one of the things about this story, What gave you the audacity to say you're not going to show somebody the script until they let you direct it?
My dad raised me to be a man. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I'm not gonna have somebody make this movie and mess it up. Like we had seen so many movies like that messed up, and then we still see movies messed up. I'm 42 years old. I had my first meeting with a studio. They had a studio, and God bless him. He's like my mentor. He's 85 years old white dude, Frank Price. He was like, yo, he's like, they said, if you have that much confidence in yourself, and also I pitched him. I said, listen, it's not gonna cost a lot of money to make this movie. This is the movie that me and my friends sat on our porches all the time talking about it should be made, right? And I said, plus, it's not gonna take a lot of movie. I don't have to be able to helicopters. I just put a light over the window and put a sound in it. And so just the fact that I was a student about, sound and picture just in a casual manner, I said, okay, here's $6 million, we'll make it for you. So, but God bless him, because, that could happen now. The climate that's happening in the business right now is that could never happen right now. They wouldn't let a 22-year-old black kid out of film school, no matter how phenomenal you are, they'll never let you fight in that studio system. So we got to make it on our own. We got to do it on our own.
Well, looking at this, and you're talking about 22, you get an Oscar nomination for writing, you get an Oscar nomination for the movie, for directing the movie itself, and you are the youngest one from a directing standpoint. How did that play with your head a little bit?
I was happy for myself, but I was upset because I felt that we should have got Best Picture, and I think Ice Cube should have got the best. We got a lot of credit for it, even though we fought a little bit on that, because I said, if you had cried on the porch, if you cried on that porch, if you cried on that porch before you turn that bitch and get the fuck out of your face, you would have got nominated for Oscar. But he was like, that's my brother. He was, he was still in between rapping and he didn't. But he as an actor, he made the right decision because he did just enough. He didn't overdo it. I mean, as I watch it over and over again, I used to tell myself, oh, I should cry, but he did just enough. You could tell he was very emotional. He had all this stuff with him, but he didn't let it out. And a lot of people do that, so he in retrospect, he made the right decision. So, but it was a good time to get nominated. I felt great because, I was, I was young, I was a filmmaker. I didn't know how to rap, I didn't know music, but I felt like I made the best hip hop movie of the time, but without having people rapping. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I was like, I wanted to have something that just like, that was so authentic that people would just be like, I'm with this. You know what I mean? So that was my whole kind of respect. Like, like a street cred. Like I put it down for LA. We're in New York. I know there's a lot of New Yorkers here. And Spike Lee at the time, and still is like my idol, because Spike went hard for so many people, got so many people in the business. And I was like, okay, he doing it for New York, I gotta do it for LA. I'll show y'all what LA is like. This is gonna be the quintessential LA movie. That was my whole thing as a kid. That's like all of it.
So you speak about the music, and I want to talk to you about that. Stanley?
Yeah, Stanley, yeah. Stanley Clark, phenomenal musician, bassist. He was scoring television and stuff, and a couple other things. And I met him when I was in film school, because I did an internship at Arsenio Hall, and he played bass in Gregory Hines' tap dance. And Stanley was nice to me. I was like 20 years old. He was like, he was doing his rehearsal and he was talking and gave me his card. And so a couple of years, like 2 years later, I came up to do a movie, and I said, I'm going to propose Stanley Clark.
Well, the music too, where you put it really worked. Did you and Stanley work together on?
When Stanley did the score, with the movie music, where you feel the emotion and everything, and then the source music is all really me. It's like, it's me like picking different cues, like Blue Child, different songs I like. You guys know Dr. Buzz's original Savannah Band. A lot of people need to know that. The Sun Shower. Like, that's stuff that I heard as a kid. Nucleus, work, and all that stuff. Like, that I really grew up with, putting it in the film. And then you know, when it comes to the contemporary part, finding different music that is appropriate for the scenes.
From an editing standpoint, you're looking at this stuff, and you got a lot of film left over, right? Was there something there that you left on the cutting floor that you wanted in there?
No, the stuff I told a friend of mine, there's something that I wish I could have got, a couple of shots I wish I could have got, but we didn't have time. It's petty, but you know, it's later, you know, filmmakers don't do it. There's the scene on Crenshaw where the girl says, you know, can we have one night and nobody get hurt, nobody get shot, right? I wish the guy had shot her to the king when she says, bitch, I'll fuck you up. I didn't have time to get that, because it was just, and then she looks at her like, you know, it's that ironic thing that, you know, that chick is rolling as hard as the dudes, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and there's a couple little things and other things, but, you know, I think the movie is what it is. And, you know, ironically, we had no time to make a movie, but I had my first movie, so I had no, I got everything I can get.
When you speak about Regina King, she said when she went into to audition, they didn't think that she could come hard like that. And you run down the stairs and tell her that she has a part, and she was really excited about it.
Well, the real story is that I thought Regina was cute, and she used to go to USC, and she was an accounting major. She had finished, you know, because she was a child actress on 227, and she was going to USC the same time I was there. She walked across campus, and nobody could catch her because she was busy going to class, and she didn't really want to be in school. She wanted to be acting and doing film and everything stuff. And so, you know, she came in. I said, oh, yeah, you know, this, you gonna come back with this, and I said, listen, I told her, I said, once you do this movie, ain't nobody really thinking about what 227 anymore. It's all gonna be cool. It's all be good, you know. And you know, she got the part, but you know, she's from LA, so. What's really funny is that Regina, Nia, and Alicia Rogers, who plays Vicky's girlfriend, they all went to high school together. So those three girls are like, you know, that's our girls was because they all went to Westchester High on the west side of LA.
From a casting standpoint, everybody talks about how the people in that film are like iconic folks.
Yeah.
You talk about Lawrence, even though he had done a lot of work. I mean, he had done a lot of work.
Yeah,
but this piece seemed to define him. On set, was everybody invested as much as you were?
Everybody was invested. This was not a movie where like everybody was working and doing a job. Like we shooting in the neighborhood. The crew was like 97% black. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, a lot of people live in the neighborhood. Yeah. And so, the kids, you know, Bayhigh Jackson and our little kids, you know, he plays a little dope on us. All the kids live around there, you know what I mean? And we cast in the neighborhood. My office is right across the office now. My permanent office is right across the street from where we cast, and then the office is Boyz N The Hood, off Crenshaw. I'm the only person in Hollywood that actually has an office at off Crenshaw. Still Hollywood. We cast Baby Boy, House on the Pillow, some parts of Fast and Furious, you know, Four Brothers, all that thing. And it's like in New York, like, you know, before Manhattan was so expensive, you know, and you know, so like had the Firehouse in Brooklyn, you know, people had production offices and just anywhere, you know what I'm saying? So you have access to real folks. So some people are not gonna come over here to another place to go read for something, you know what I'm saying? So one of you gonna get real folks, and I like to use great actors and a mixture of actors and non-actors, so of course the characters. And that comes from when I was in school, we used to watch all these post-war Italian films, like The Bicycle Thief, you know what I mean? And Vittorio De Sica's work, and it was called Italian Via Real Cinema, and it was like, you know, great actors with a mixture of Rossini, with people who were just people. And so I felt if I did that, I would get more of a realistic thing. You know, I'm gonna do that. I did it in all my work. You see my work.
And we talked a little bit about the writing, but in this one, you actually had a lot to say. There's a lot of messages in
And
it.
I was like, I was preaching a little bit, but just everything I'm preaching about still is relevant today. And that's another thing, police. You know what I mean? And police brutality is not just about police brutality in terms of race, police brutality in terms of like just mentality. You know, a black dude that's like trying to prove out. You know what I'm saying? You know, you're just dangerous. So, and then the whole thing about
the father take care of his son.
The father taking his son, but going even further, this whole kind of like thing with like brothers, you know, going at other brothers because of their insecurities. You know what I mean? Like there's so many black men that's so insecure about themselves as men that they feel like they gotta go against other men to prove their masculinity. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, it's like we went from a time where people were like, you know, hey brother, hey sister, and all this love, you know, and to a nihilistic thing where like, you know, you look at me wrong, you know, I'll take you out. And where I'm from, we're engineered to be time bombs. Like, you know, black men are, you know, where I'm from, even your best friend, like, yo, if you fuck with me, that's your ass. You know what I mean? Like, you're a time bomb. And it's like eat myself. I have, you know, when I'm in some meetings with people pissing me off, you know, you have to get out of that psychosis. So it's a kind of like time bomb psychosis. It's like, you know, because we're under so much pressure. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, and it's not just, you know, men, it's women, you know, it's men against men, it's women against women, it's men against women, it's women against men, there's, you know, and so, you know, in my movies and everything, I try to have a lot of love. You know, you see it, I put love in there in a very subtle manner. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. When you look at the character, when you look at Fish and Angela, while they were going back and forth a little bit, you actually showed that they respected each other.
Yeah, there's love, there's still respect there, and and there's love between friends. You know what I mean? Like I try to put that in there, you know, because I think it's very, very needed. And it's not like I'm not advertising a nihilist mentality. You know what I'm saying? You know, just making it worse.
You also decided to show the softer side of the brothers when you talk about the love piece, though. But you also show when you show them crying, you show them being introspective.
Yeah. I have a mantra in most of my work and everything. I always show black men crying because you rarely ever see brothers cry. You ever see, you know, and even women, you know, like, you know, I have this thing with telling people advisors, whatever, like, you know, listen, you know, even when black women are emotional and they're in front of the kids, they suck that shit up. They'll go in a room and they'll cry amongst themselves, you know, alone. They won't cry in front of the kids. You know what I'm saying? You know, or even men, they don't cry in front of them. I was joking with a friend of mine the other day. It was like, hey, remember your dad used to whoop your ass? Yeah, I remember my dad used to whoop my ass. I said, remember when he used to whoop your ass? I said, don't cry, don't cry. And he used to be like this. He's sucking it in his head. You better not cry. You're like, burst and shit, right? You get that stuff in you, like, it's like, you know, it's like real. It's like, yo, so it's like, I just, for some reason, the target thing was to have, you know, these brothers crying in the film. You know what I mean? Like in this film, and in Baby Boy, you know, a whole lot of stuff I've done. You see that welling of emotion. You know what I mean? Like.
And so a lot of the women were really upset with the ending there. They were pretty mad at you. That he got shot. He got shot. Why you hurt us like that?
He had to go because he was he had to go because he was the Black American dream. He was Black American dream. So he had for the emotional impact. You know, Morris, chocolate, beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you see Morris in this movie. Morris Chestnut, 22 years old, man. Good kid, man. It's like, you know, he was just like, you know, I was 22, Cuba was 20, Morris was 22, and Cuba was 22. Oldest person on the whole movie was Fishburne, he was 28. He's playing Cuba's father. Yeah, he's 29. He's playing Cuba's father, and he's only 7 years old. So we just went and just made our movie, just a bunch of young folks, and we just, we rocked it.
You said a lot of people were here when you made some opening comments, and you said, I really didn't know what I was doing.
I did not know.
Come on, man.
I didn't know nothing. I swear I didn't know nothing. All I did in this movie was try to shoot it and try to, I acted like a director. Like, we jump back in, like, I acted like a director, and, just, I selectively told people what to do. I didn't open my mouth, just talk where I didn't need to talk. I deferred to Fishburne about a month before we started shooting. I said, you did 4 movies with Francis Coppola, tell me what Francis does with his actors. And so he sat me down in my apartment and said, we do this, we did this, on Apocalypse, we did this on Rumble Fish, we did this. And so, Francis is one of my idols, so, and I took acting classes while I was in pre-production of Boyz N The Hood, because I had no idea how to communicate with actors. I took acting classes at USC too, and I posted commercials, and that's me. But I learned as I went along, you know what I mean? And the one thing I did, and I think you filmmakers need to take this to heart, that I did with this movie that I try to do still, even though I got older, is even though I could do a lot of fancy stuff with the cameras, I was very subdued in how I covered everything. So to tell the story, I didn't try to move the camera in various wild ways for no reason at all. I tried to move it into the service of the story. And then, so that you wouldn't be distracted by all the other shit. You just be watching the movie, you'd be immersed in it. And because I'd seen all these other cats that I knew that had opportunities in their films, and all they would, until they get their equipment, they want to just and it looks stupid. And you watch great films, and the best films immerse you into it, and you get so sucked up watching it that you forget that you're watching a movie. And so that's what I was trying to work on.
And we couldn't let you go without asking you, say, when you watch great films, for these people who are our filmmakers, what are 3 films that you would recommend that they have to watch?
It's timid. I can't just say 3 films. Well, first of all, is Orson Welles' Citizen Kane. It's the hallmark of American film. It changed everything. Even films that now everything you see in media now in the way that things that are in terms of montage and master shots and composition stuff. A lot of stuff goes right back to that film. That would be one. One of my favorites is Kuro Kurosawa's Seven Samurai. That's
They say it again.
The Seven Samurai by Kuro Kurosawa. I'm trying to think about movies that I watch when I get pissed off at the business and stuff like that. I gotta remember why I'm doing this shit. And then oddly enough, you want to see a movie that I recommend. It's not about the construction and all that stuff. That actually was an influence on me for Boyz N The Hood, but I wouldn't have realized it because I hadn't watched it before I shot the movie. I hadn't seen this movie since I was 7 years old. But from 7 years old to after 22, this movie is the reason why I made Boyz N The Hood. I'll tell you the movie. Huh? Cooley High. Because Cooley High was so like by another mentor, Michael Schultz. It was so Chicago, and I saw the movie in LA when I was 7 years old. My mother took me to see it, and when Coach is killed. And I remember being a little kid. I looked up at my mother and I was like, Mama, why are you crying, right? And she's like, because it's such a good movie. And I was like, I was like, damn, that's what I gotta do. I gotta make people have some type of emotion to make a good movie.
So was that 7 that you decided that you want to do this?
No, 9. After I saw Star Wars, I was like, but I'm saying, but I always wanted a movie. I grew up next to a drive-in theater, Century Drive-In on Century in Inglewood, and I've been going to movies ever since I was like 3 or 4. Just going to movies. And so I had this need to tell stories visually, but out, you know, in high school, I could get some equipment and stuff and shoot and everything. But
Cooley High was.
Cooley High, yeah, Cooley High was. How many of you haven't seen Cooley High? Okay, those of you who haven't seen Cooley High, I won't hold it against you, but you haven't seen Cooley High. It's a very beautiful movie. I mean, and it's set in the '60s. It's chock full of great Motown tunes. So it's like Boyz N The Hood in the '60s, but in Chicago. And I hadn't thought about it. You know, it's funny because I can probably, if you got TCO smile and say, you probably could program Cooley High and then Boyz N The Hood right after. Yeah, there you go. You know, and I had to come and talk about what I was more about. That'd be really nice. You know, but yeah.
So the way in which you approach films, given that one was this was your first one, did you have any reservations at all? Any?
I mean, I was scared. You know, I was scared. I didn't have reservations because I was like, you know, I talked all this shit. Like, I'm gonna be the shit. I'm gonna be better than this Spike Lee. I'm gonna do all this shit. And then they said, here's $6 million, go make your movie. I was like, damn. I really gotta do this. I really gotta do it. So I locked myself up in my apartment, and I just sat and watched all these movies, and I'm making notes on my script of how to make it better. And the script was, they bought it the way it was. The only scene that I wrote in my office later on, just before we shot, was the fight between the two brothers. Because I said, damn, you know, they play fighting in the early parts of the thing, so I gotta have them like really fight later on in the movie. And, you know, and it's something, you know, that I always say, it's called set up and payoff. You set something up in a subtle way or a hard way, and you pay it off later on. So you notice they see them like wrestling as little kids, the same line, you see them fighting. And they're basically just fighting because they're two sides of the same coin, really for the love and attention of the mother. I mean, the mother's looking at them all different because she remembers, you know, she's looking at one son because she remembers her experience with one father. And she's remembering another son, she's remembering the other father. You know what I mean? So it's like a psychological thing. And then, you know, it's like Dookie says, you know, God bless his soul, my friend, B-Dub, he has a pacifier in his mouth. He was in my first big movies, man. That's my little homie. He died after high learning. He got killed. There's a whole lot of people in this movie actually that aren't with us anymore that actually got killed. Because I had a whole lot of real folks in it. And he said, when he says, says something about why she on Doughboy, and says she's really got their daddies, that's why. You know, he just explained it a little bit there.
You do something else when you talk about paying it forward. When Fish is talking to Trey about why he didn't go and rob, and then you see what Trey does later on.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing about it, people ask me, and we had a thing at the studio just before it came out. But you know, we should do the scene with like with Furious and Trey, you know, where they get together and they make up. And I said, no, fuck that. No, we ain't doing that. I said, why? We give you money. I said, because the father's looking at the son when he comes back in, and he thinks everything he's trying to teach his son is all good for naught. But the audience knows that the son did the right thing. So my whole thing is, the great movies that you watch, you know, when you come out of a movie, you're still talking about it, and you feel like the character still exists afterwards. I said, you know, they're probably gonna sit up, you know, a couple weeks later, and he's gonna tell him what really happened, and chop it up. You know what I mean? Like, but that's, the audience is sitting and talking about that. You know, the movie has to have its own life. And so it's like one of those, it's open-ended in a way, you know.
So for everybody here, from an acting perspective, because there's a lot of folks who are trying to get into acting, when you guys were actually looking at the different people to cast, what were you looking for, and what was your mindset there?
I was looking for people that were really interesting to watch. You know what I mean? Like, people say, what do you look for? People come up to me on the street all the time. What do you look for in an actor? I'm like, listen, you gotta be interesting. You gotta be like, as a filmmaker, I want to see you all the time. I don't want to look for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there's people that, you know, that you watch on film that are iconic, and like their face. But you also, it's not just about the face or being pretty or being interesting. It's about having some energy coming from them that is there.
And,
So,
you saw that with Nia?
Oh yeah, I saw that Nia. You know I saw that Nia. I tell you Nia long story. She tells me too. She calls me John. I call her Nia. And she comes in and there's like 20 girls sitting there downstairs from the office and everything stuff. And I'm walking around the office looking at all the girls, I'm 22 years old. She's 19 years old. She's 18. She's 18. Yeah. And I go and plop myself right down beside her. And she's like, I said, how you doing? She's like, hi, who are you? I said, I'm John. Okay, so listen. And I said, you ready for this movie? She said, yes. She said, what you do here? And I said, I do a little bit of here. They got me running around here. They got me running around here doing everything. I do everything here. Said, okay. I said, you excited about it? She said, yes. It's really good part. She says, this is me. It's like, this is me when I went to St. Mary's. And all the girls just want to whoop my ass and shit. Because they thought I was being all bougie. I said, okay, well, good luck to you. Good luck to you. Good luck. I'm going to put a good word in for the post. Right? So then I go upstairs to my office, and then everybody comes, and she comes upstairs. They said, this is Jackie Brown, this is the producer, Steve Nicholas, and this is the director, John Singleton. She goes, it was so funny. We always joke about it.
What a good thing. We actually have to wrap up. So John, if there was something that you'd want to tell people about the movie that they don't know, what would that be?
That they don't know?
Yeah, that they don't know. Something might happen, from a casting standpoint, from how you guys filmed it, and anything that you think that might be really interesting that they don't know, that they can't find on the internet, can't read, can't Google.
Tell them the Michael Jackson story.
That's a whole other thing. That's the video.
But the dude that was in it.
Lloyd?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's not about Louis, but anyway, my friend Lloyd Avery, who you see, he's dead now. He shot Ricky. He has the green eyes. He was actually in Florida Justice too. Lloyd, it doesn't have to do with Boyz N The Hood, but it's quite funny. Anybody who has my Instagram is him. But I put it on there. The real story is, one time, after Boyz N The Hood, I was like sleeping, and like 3 o'clock in the morning, like late at night, maybe even at that last time, I get this call, and it's like Michael Jackson on the phone, right? And he's talking to me. He's like, is this John? Yes, this is Michael Jackson. I said, no. He's talking to Mike. I said, okay, I want you to do my next video. And I was like, really? Oh, okay. Well, let's sit down and talk about it. So, okay, click. Call my agent. I was like, hey, I just got a call. Michael Jackson just called me. He said he wanted to do this video. So call his people so I can sit up and talk to them, right? So I go to this meeting. I go to this big house in Bel Air, big, huge house. Michael Jackson's manager, Cindy Gallo at the time. I go in, Michael Jackson's there. And like, I wasn't even nervous to meet Michael. I was like, I grew up like this. I know I'm gonna be Michael Jackson. Right? We sit, talk, and chop it up, And I said, yeah, so you called me and it was this. He said, I didn't call you. I said, it was. So did you see Boyz N The Hood? He says, I don't like black violent movies. I don't like violence. Okay, so then we started talking about what songs on this new album, Dangerous, that I like. I said, I like all the songs that they were playing on black radio, I did black and white, the video. I was just being real. I hope it's be real to everybody. I don't care who you are. Be real. I just didn't like the fact that it was. He always came out with the different kind of thing. His mantra was to come out with the weakest song first, and he would win anyway, right? And he did a couple of albums, right? And I told him I like remember the time, and so he said, okay, well, let's do that. I said, and I want to put nothing but black people in it. He said, okay, that's what you want to do? Let's do it. And so I called my friend and said, I'm working with Michael Jackson. And then my friend Lloyd Avery, who we saw killed Ricky, he says, Michael, you don't feel much as he says, He says, you know I prank called you. Yeah, we prank called you. What? So I got a little bit of time because my friend went to prank call me. And then I thought my gosh, hey guys, this is ABFF. Oh, Jeff, come on up, man. Come on. Jeff. This is ABFF Remembers Boyz N The Hood. Guys, give it up. Hey, yo. Everybody, I got a show coming on. It's not going to come on to next year. I'm working on one I'm really excited about. It's called Snowfall. It's LA, 1981. A storm is coming to the city, and his name is cocaine. That's all you need to know. That's all you got to know. Thanks so much, John. Really appreciate it.